I did hear the news though. So we have a bit of a tragedy on our hands. All of the Joann fabric stores across the United States are closing. Initially, they sent out a list that they were going to be closing about half of them. That is no longer the case. It will be every single one. And I was talking to a friend, and she's just like, well, there's other stores, but like really, there's not. In a lot of places, you have the local Joanns, and I was there. I was there Sunday. No, Saturday. I was there Saturday with my mom because I needed to get more of the pink yarn. And I went to my local Michael's and they didn't have it. So I went to Joann's because they do have such a large selection. But I will say this, when we were in the Joann store, there was so much shit. There was so much fucking garbage that no one needs. No one needs that store. And I've said it on a couple other streams too, where we have these stores like Michael's and Joann's. They buy so much inventory and all these products that sit there and they go on super sale. They go on super duper fucking sale. They go on 70-80% off. They still have it, 9+ months later because they can't move this egregious amount of crap that they're buying. Like, this is, I have never seen something so just wasteful in that way. And it was really shocking, like, just the sheer amount of shit that no one needs. No one, and even if they did, fine. But we only need like 2 stores selling that crap, And I've said it a couple times. Joann's, when they first started struggling, they should have let Michael's have it. Let Michael's make a little bit more and sell all of their shit. They're gonna end up kind of probably breaking even. Like, how much revenue were they really getting from just all of the seasonal garbage? Like, you can have seasonal staples, yes, whatever, but still leave it to Michael's. Joann Fabrics, the minute they started having financial issues, they should have become like a straight up just fabric and yarn, hooks, thread, bobbins, like your general supplies for those crafts, and they should have gutted everything else. And they should have just let Michael's sell garbage, let them have it, and then focus on what actually drives your main revenue. And I think that really played into it. They were already skeleton crew staffs. Don't get me wrong, I was laid off when I worked at a Black & Decker store. And that was like a dying store. So I worked for Black & Decker, and they laid us off because the company ended up being bought and they essentially liquidated all the stores. And then I worked for fucking Kmart when they went under. I was laid off twice due to closures before I was 20 years old. Like, all the fucking time. So just seeing stuff like that and just seeing the amount of excess within their stores is just really frustrating. But at the same time, seeing stores like these close, it's just going to make us more dependent on the fast fashion. It's going to make it harder to get fabric, because when I was younger, Walmart stores had like a massive craft and fabric section. You can walk into most Walmarts and get fabric. I know there are some out there that still do. I'm not saying that this is like a one-shot, all of them. It's just not as common anymore. And I think that losing Joann's will kind of harm the craft community in that way, because where are people going to get stuff? I'm now going to have to drive. I don't know of a better yarn store than Joann's in my area. I've looked into a couple like really small yarn shops, and their prices, with all due respect, are a bit egregious for me. They're a bit much. I get it. Like, at the same time though, I can't afford to really participate in my hobby. I have a fabric warehouse that I'll now have to go to, which is fine. which it will be fine. I'll get more comfortable there, but it's incredibly overstimulating. And don't get me wrong, Joann's is too. I've tweaked in Joann's because I'm like, holy shit. But it is a bummer. It's going to make it harder for a lot of people, and then it's also going to add kind of that barrier of entry into certain crafts, because Joann's did so much more than just sell. Like, they had classes. You could go take classes out of Joann's. Yes, you can take classes at certain Michael's stores and things like that, but they had resources, and they had people there who kind of knew things as well, so it was always really helpful. I guess it's kind of like they were what like Home Depot used to be. You could go to like a hardware store, even Menards or any of them. You used to be able to go to a hardware store and you would talk to someone who actually knew what the fuck they were kind of doing, and you could get some general guidance from that person. Like, obviously I'm not going to go to a hardware store now and ask the associate, really any in-depth questions for a project that I'm working on, because I'm not going to assume that they know that. They don't make enough money for them to be fucking knowing that. If you do know shit, you're probably like a consultant with a contractor. Like, you're out, getting your money. It's a loss in that way. And I know, like, I know Gimli on our channel, like, they've mentioned that, like, that is, I think, one of the nearest places. So it's going to make things harder for people. I don't like buying things online. I am weird about fabric. Certain fabric will make my teeth hurt. So frankly, I gotta touch it. I gotta fucking touch it. I have that issue. I'm not gonna buy a fabric sight unseen and just be like, oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, I can't do that. That's my personal ish, but it's a bummer. It's a real fucking bummer. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get really comfy with the warehouse that I found. I'll probably pick a day and I'll just go there and be a pest and just ask a billion fucking questions and try and figure out, like, if there's any organization or rhyme or reason for where things are. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do about yarn, because Michael's sucks. With all due respect to Michael's, I'll go there in a pinch, but if I need to, like, I don't know, their selection is nothing compared to Joann's, so I wish they hadn't had wasted all that motherfucking money on shit that nobody needs or wants. I mean, it's literally just like landfill fodder at that point. They're just buying shit to go into a fucking landfill. And half the time, like, even for, like, the last few years when I go into those places and I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see that at Goodwill. I'll wait until I get that at the secondhand store. Or I participate in free markets. I'll wait until I get it for fucking free. And, like, even some of the prices, I saw some stuff this last year where they're selling shit for, like, $60-$70 fucking dollars, where it's like a vase or a mirror, and I'm like, be so for real. Like, absolutely not. Oh, what was it? I picked up something. Oh my god. Oh, it was a pillow. It was a pillow at Joann's. It was this fugly little gingerbread pillow, and it was maybe like this big. It wasn't very big at all. And it was $40 fucking dollars. The original price was $40 fucking dollars for this stupid little pillow. And now it's on super sale, don't get me wrong, because, it's March, basically. And, yeah, no shit. No shit. In this economy, I'm sorry, but, like, there's maybe a handful of neighborhoods in my area where they can get away with selling shit for that price. Normal people are going to be like, no. Or you're already in a craft store. You could probably make that for less. You can probably go buy the supplies in the store and make it for less than they were charging. It was just egregious. It was egregious, their pricing that I saw the other day. And that was just on I keep saying Sunday. That was just on Saturday when I was there with my mom. And I even, like, anyways, yeah, this is a bummer. This is awful, in my opinion. Is it the end of the fucking world? I guess not. But it's gonna make this hard. It's gonna make it inaccessible. I'm really against, like, the fast fashion. The fast fashion industry as a whole is decimating our fucking like ecosystems, because a lot of it they just dump it into these like impoverished communities. They just dump piles of clothes, like from Shein, Temu, all of them. Like fast fashion is awful. It is like, anyways, I don't know enough, but I don't know enough off the top of my head to just be like spitting it at you. But I've read enough to know and want to change my actions around fast fashion to not support it. But I'm going to climb off of that little soapbox. But yeah, it's a bummer. It's a real fucking bummer.